Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Ghost, and you know what it means, ladies and gentlemen. It's Tuesday night, and that means we're back with DMJ Rooms. Choose your weapon, season 2. This is round 2. We're heading to Spa. We're gonna get rid of my ugly mug, and we're gonna get through some information here for you guys. We have about 3 minutes, so let's get with it. First of all, welcome everybody to the broadcast, and man, if last week's race is any sign of what's gonna happen here tonight, we're in for one. We are in for one. So. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are here for round 2. We've headed to Belgium and we're at Spa. Circuit length, ladies and gentlemen, is 4.3 miles or 7 kilometers long. It has 20 left and right hand turns. It is a real world circuit. It is a tarmac surface. It appears in Gran Turismo 5 and down as a DLC pack. It was Gran Turismo 6, Gran Turismo Sport in an update, and of course in Gran Turismo 7. The fastest lap at Spa. Tattooed Freak, yo, let's go Apex. What's up? In the house. Pete Jones coming in with that like as well. The real life fastest lap on Spa is a 146.286 by Valerie Bottas in the Mercedes F1. Selected others is a 141.7 with Neil Janney in the Porsche 919 Hybrid Evo. And yeah, that's epic, guys. If you guys haven't checked those videos out yet, you really should go check out the build on that Porsche 919 Hybrid Evo that they made before they put the old girl away on retirement. Is just quite phenomenal, ladies and gentlemen. Pete Jones coming in with the 50-star bomb. Much love, brother. We appreciate all the support here at GT45 Gaming. Let's get a hashtag Pete up in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. You guys are killing it. Yeah, Sheik Shabazz coming in with that big thumbs up as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, qualifying starts in 1 minute here. So, let's get through some more information for you. So, again, ladies and gentlemen, this season, now this says round 1. It should say round 2. That's my fault. I don't have the right graphic in, but the same difference. Maximum tires and minimum tires are racing hards to racing softs. There is no tuning allowed as the cars are on very specific settings. Tire wear is 6 times and fuel is 4 times. There's no boost. It will be a grid start with a false start check for these drivers. Slipstream is real. Damage is heavy, which means the drivers have to be 100% on point here today. Initial fuel, of course, is a full tank of fuel to start. They're only allowed to use ABS and traction control systems in these cars. The grip is real, of course, on the track edge. And drivers must use their mandatory tire for a minimum of 1 full circuit lap. And the required tire this race in round 2, ladies and gentlemen, is the racing hard tires. So these drivers are going to have to run these racing hards here today at Spa. And if they opt to start on those racing hard tires, they're going to have to run those hards for at least 5 laps before they're going to be allowed to make their pit stop to change those tires, as the pit window only opens at the beginning of lap 5. All right. And just a quick little breakdown here on the point system, ladies and gentlemen. So this is our point system for the season. And as you can see, first place gets 32 points all the way down to 15th place, which receives 2 points. There's 2 bonus draws in the middle of the season, one in round 5 and one in round 9, for a sportsmanship award, which the drivers vote upon amongst themselves. And they basically, whoever gets voted for that award will receive 5 bonus championship points. There's also a Jack of all trades award, so if the drivers opt to use all 3 cars throughout the season, they can cash in a Jack of all trades award, and that will also earn them an additional set of bonus points for the championship season as well. There is also point for fastest lap and pole position here, ladies and gentlemen, as well. But we are going to start qualifying here, so just give me 1 second to check these guys, make sure that all the cars are properly set here. Missed the screen. And then we're going to start qualifying for these guys. And once we'll get on track so you guys can see these cars. The guys have had the paint booths fired up busy in the last week. And the cars are looking mighty sharp, let me tell you. So we're just going to let these guys know that quali is starting. And of course we got to make sure that we tell them good luck. Have some fun out there, because that's what's most important, ladies and gentlemen, is that these guys are having fun out there. All our drivers are checked in. And we're kicking it, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to hit that button. And we're going to start this thing. So we're going to be starting in a 15-minute qualifier, ladies and gentlemen. So let us get you over to the action, shall we? Wrong screen. Ba-bam. All right. All right. So here we go. We are missing some drivers on the field here today. We are missing a driver that we were waiting to confirm. So after two no-shows here this season, I think we're going to look for a replacement for that driver. We got Vic coming in with that like and that share. Much love, Vic. Hope you're doing well, my guy. So we do have a spot still open. I don't want to take a driver any later than the next round. Obviously, once we get to round 3, it's not fair to bring somebody in and try to chase up the championship points. So we are going to reach out to a driver here and see if he's interested in taking that spot. We're missing Bandit Zeke here today as he's got personal matters that he has to attend to today, which pulled him away from the racetrack, unfortunately. We're thinking of him and of course, sending our thoughts to him and his family here today. And Superman, Apex Racing Superman here as well. Unable to make it today due to a work-related incident, and hopefully he's okay. But just didn't think it was going to be safe for him to attempt to race even if he was here on time. So we are missing a couple of our drivers, and of course Kilt is still awaiting that internet connection. So we do have a couple drivers missing in our field, but we have I think 11 here today. So as we can see, Spec opting to come out here and lead this pack on qualifying. We've got Barr in second. We've got Sparky right on his butt here. We got Nolander sitting in P4. Some of these guys going to try and use some of the slipstream to their advantage. Jake is on his own. He just wants to run his lap. We got Betcher right there in 6th place. That's Apex Racing team member as well, ladies and gentlemen. You can see them boys are sporting the look here now. Liveries are looking fantastic. We've got our winner from last round at Alsace, Ghost Viper 26, with an absolute epic finish and battle with GVG Jake and Spec 1. So that was a very tight P1 through P3 last week over at Alsace Village and Spa. Well, I mean, Spa is Spa, right? So Spa should be an interesting racetrack here tonight. We got Badass, Vegas Polonaids. We got Badass here coming out in 9th place. We've got ATB on track here again, sitting in 10th, and Heathen, Apex Racing's Heathen, also in the field here today, finishing out our field for today. So 11 drivers on track here today. These drivers will be getting championship points and moving their way up the standings, and the other drivers are going to be playing a little bit of catch-up. But hey, you know what? That's all good. These guys just love to race, so they're here to have some fun. And I mean, really, at the end of the day, that's the most important thing. So we're going to make a couple of camera angle adjustments. Just making sure everything's working nice and co-efficiently, you know. Everything's looking good. Let's do a little test. Fantastic. See, that's the only thing that, I don't know why it does that, but that's alright. Alright. Got all our buttons kicking and clicking and wicking and going, and we're going to rock and roll here. I'm just going to kick my mic back a little bit here, Chad. I feel like I'm really loud as I'm watching my audio mixer just screaming at the top of its lungs, so I do apologize if I'm coming off a little bit loud. I'll just move that microphone a little bit back here. You got no game sound. Now you got game sound. All right. So, while we're in qualifying, we'll let these guys mess around the racetrack here for a couple minutes. We're going to bring up the standings and the race results from last week. So, last week's race results, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see here on the screen in front of you, GVG Ghost Viper 26 coming in first place, gaining a very valuable 32 points there. We've got RR Spec 1 coming in with a second place finish, grabbing 28 points. We have GVG Jake coming in third, grabbing, no, you're not too loud? Okay, perfect, thanks, dude. We'll put it right back down. Sitting for 26 points. So we had the Sparky Boomman finish in 4th for 24 points. Badass from Apex Racing finishing in 5th for 22. Vegas Paul in 6th for 20. Nolander coming in 7th for 18 points. Betcher in 8th for 16. ATB coming in 9th for 14 points. Superman coming in that top 10, rounding out the top 10 last week for 12 points. So if we kick that beauty out, bring in this beauty right here. This is our overall season standings coming into round 2, ladies and gentlemen. And this one's a little bit smaller. You have to look a little bit tougher at this one. But Overall standings coming in round 2 is you see Ghost Viper sitting in first place with a grand total of 32 points, and you see GVD Jake sitting in second place, and that may confuse you guys a little bit. He got the bonus points for fastest lap and pole position last week, which jumped him over our second place finisher Spec 1. So GVD Jake is actually holding second place down, tied with Spec 1 for third, and then everything else just follows in suit with our round 1 results, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll go, just wanted to get that out of the way real quickly for you guys so you can all see what's going on, and let's go check our drivers out. And there we go again. Ghost Viper 26 sitting currently on pole right now in that Porsche. We got Vegas Paul here in the RCZ sitting in second, so some of these times looking pretty good by some of these drivers. We got Nolander sitting here in P3, just picking up a half-second penalty. That's fairly unfortunate there. Sparky Boomman sitting in P4. Ow, and that's what we forgot to talk to our drivers about tonight. That was the thing on my list, too. Penalties, ladies and gentlemen. The drivers have till where they pick the penalty up on the following lap to get rid of that penalty. So these drivers can carry a penalty across the start-finish line. However, with that being said, these drivers should not make a pass while carrying a penalty. They should are expected to bleed the penalty first before attempting a move on a car. Of course, unless you know, the driver in front spins out or something like that and causes a self-induced incident in front of him, then that obviously, you know, we don't expect him to stop on track, wait for that guy to get back on track and yada yada yada. But if they are holding a penalty, we do obviously expect them to burn that penalty before attempting to make a move on another driver. But they do have a full lap to burn that penalty off as well. So forgot about that. I always forget about that one. And we got Bar. Now, Bar missed last week just due to work, so he is in this week here, and we can see him on track. And Bar 27, ladies and gentlemen, comes from the GTRC community that we do commentary for on Saturdays. So he's one of the guys that runs the league over there to GTRC, and he's also one of the guys that's racing on track here. So he's actually driving under the GT45 window here this season, which is fantastic. We'd love to see that. And he's in that Peugeot RCZ. So this will be Bar 27's debut here at Dmj Round for him today. So that's exciting to see. We got Spec sitting in P7 here in that Porsche. We've seen him and Ghost Viper and Jake having just spectacular battle all race long last race at Alsace Village. Betcher here with Apex Racing currently sitting in 8th. ATB is sitting in 9th. Now, some of these guys could be playing coy a little bit. We have Jake sitting in P10, so a little uncharacteristic from Jake and Badass, but you would kind of suspect that 4C might struggle a little bit of spot here, as the 4C lacks one very important thing for a track of this size. It lacks top-end speed. Those 4Cs need slipstream. We got Joe coming in with that like and that share as well. Much love, my guy. Thinking of you, brother. We're sending you vibes. The community's sending you vibes, my guy. So yeah, 11 guys, and we still got 7 minutes remaining in qualifying here. So let's get on board with Sparky Boom Man. All right. So our 4th place finisher in round 1, you can currently see he's actually holding fastest lap on the racetrack right now with a 2:16.981. So you can see very, very early on that the pace is going to be very, very quick from these drivers here tonight. 2:16 is a pretty quick lap on Spa, and there's still more time available there yet, ladies and gentlemen, so we'll see if that's going to hold up or not, as some of these drivers could just be opting to take it easy for the first few laps, maybe get rid of some fuel load out of their cars before they really go for that big lap. So it'd be interesting to see all the strategies that play out here. We see a car just nipping and slip here. We got Bar 27 behind here. He's just outside that slipstream range. He may not be aware that it is okay to use the slip. So he may be just trying to stay out of it there. But use it, my dude. Use it. Use it. It's all good. Oh. All right. So Badass now sitting in P2, and just as I say, the 4C may not be the strongest car here at Spa. He goes and slams down a big fat lap in that 4C, and I mean, we're talking less than 3/100ths of a second away from our current pole sitter, Sparky Boomman, right now. So I stand corrected, ladies and gentlemen. What does a commentator know, right? Ghost Viper, he's got that penalty, but Ghost Viper is pretty good at bleeding penalties here, so I would assume that he's going to be able to get rid of this without losing a whole lot of time on this lap. Spec is also just getting rid of one here as well. He's right on Nolander's slip here. He's going to opt to get rid of that right now while he's there. Got Betcher's now moved up into P5, so the guys are starting to settle into their rhythms here now. We see Ghost Viper going in for some fresh rubber. Got Vegas Paula here coming around. He is P6 to see if he improves on that. He does not. We got GVG Jake here coming around in P7. Little uncharacteristic of Jake, as maybe not getting quite enough practice in here this week or something, or maybe he's just playing with us. He's just playing with us maybe a little bit. As this is, again, last year's returning champion from Season 1 is GVG Jake. So, again, now a proud member of the Apex Racing team, Sim Racing team as well, ladies and gentlemen. And pretty fantastic stuff to see that. Lots of the drivers coming from the community from GT45 Gaming and then DMJ Series heading over to Apex, becoming a part of the team. They're becoming a very strong team. And, yeah. Definitely exciting to see. We love seeing growth. We love seeing communities build. It's absolutely fantastic. That's what it's all about. And then ATB here, sitting in P11 here currently. Nice seeing some new faces here in the series this season as well. So, you know, there's hope. We are on Gran Turismo Sport, ladies and gentlemen. We opted not to run GT7 series for Season 2 just due to the fact that the lobbies aren't in quite the optimal condition yet. They have been working on them over most recent days, however, and they are starting to get a little bit better. Now, with that being said, that just leaves us hope that by the end of Season 2 that we are able to run the upcoming Season 3 after Season 2 is all finished and done over on the new platform of GT7, which would be spectacular. And I think we would have a huge amount of interest over on GT7 as well. So, be interesting to see what happens here over the next coming weeks, but we're all hopeful for that. But GT Sport's been very kind to us here at DMJ and GT45 Gaming and all across the sim racing community here for several years, and you know, it's just a beauty. It's a beauty. So, as I said, you can see the paint booths have been very, very busy over the week, as we're seeing the deliveries coming out from all the drivers here now, and all prim and proper and looking nice and beautiful. You can hear Badass revving that 4C out there. He's going to be going for a cranky of a lap here, most likely. Heathen has opted that he's good with what he's got going on, so he's just got her sitting in pit lane. Looks like a lot of the drivers are kind of pretty happy with what they're sitting on there, so we got Ghost Viper out. Ooh, coming really wide around the corner there. That's probably going to pick him up a penalty there. That's fairly unfortunate. But he does have time for one more lap here. And he's going to come in as well. So it looks like the drivers are all settling in. We got Spec still on track coming around here, so we are going to stick with Spec 1. Woo, here we go. Apex drives such pretty cars, if I do say so myself. Absolutely, those cars are looking fantastic out there on the racetrack. We got Ian Travers coming in with the share as well. Much love, Ian. We see you out there. We see you out there. And Spec coming across, and he does not improve that time. And he's going to go again. So he's like, no, no, no. We got time. We going again. So we got a pretty, I mean, we got a little bit of all three cars on the racetrack here today. We definitely got a heavy field of Porsches. We've got a couple 4Cs on track, and we got a couple of the Peugeot RCZs or Zs, depending on how you pronounce it, on track as well. So I like to say that just to appease our friends over the pond. They pronounce their Zs differently than we do over here in Canada. Let's go, Spec, says Vic. There goes the man to beat, says Joe. Especially with those number plates. Hey! A little custom work there. So, who is going to take pole? Currently, Badass is sitting there, and he must feel pretty comfortable with that lap, as it's a 2:16.783 as we see, so he's just going to sit there. He's like, yeah, I'm good. See if you guys can beat that. So right now Sparky is the closest man on the charge here, and he's 1.13 tenths away, so 1.25 tenths, a little over. So we'll have to see if he can hook it up. This will be an out lap for him here, so he's got to get back around before that timer runs out in order to get that one more last stab at that qualifying time. So again, bonus points. There's always bonus points up for grab for these pole positions. So it's always good to try and get that top spot on the grid for the start of the race. Obviously, A, it never hurts to start at the beginning of the at the front of the pack, and B, of course, with bonus points. Bonus points matter in a championship series, ladies and gentlemen. So, and these drivers are really nipping and tucking that timer here. Let's see if they can get across in time. It is going to be just in the nip of time here. As you can see, Sparky's just going to get across that line. Oh. Like just. So we got a couple drivers still on track running laps. We got Bars on track here. He's coming around right now. He's looking real good. Oh, Spec 1 just came across the line, taking that pole position from Apex Racing's badass. So Spec was on a mission. Bar's going to come across. What does he do? He does not improve. He goes down into P4 there after Spec taking pole position. So last minute steal by Spec 1 there, it looks like, but we still have cars on the track on a hot lap here. So we do have Sparky Boomman on track. We've got Bar still on a hot lap here as well. ATB's on a hot lap. No, ATB's done. He's got the flashers on. So we got Paul and we got Sparky out on a hot lap here still as well. Jake moving up into P2 there as well just a second ago. So some last minute swaps in that field, and as I said, Jake was totally playing coy with us. He was just sitting there chilling out, burning some fuel off in that car to make that one good hot lap run, and moving himself up into P2. But currently the Spec 1 is the man to beat for that pole position, as we got 2 drivers left on track to try and get it. Oh, and we see Sparky get really wide there. So Sparky's not going to be going for that pole lap there. That'll be it for his qualifying lap run there, as that's a chalk lap. Now he went very wide there. So Vegas Paul here still on a pretty good lap here, so he may be able to move up that list yet. We see ATB pop up into P8 there as well. Nolander's down into P10. Heathen sitting in P11. Betcher is in P7. And the middle of the field is we're not sure yet. We can't quite see the order. But we're going to stick with Paul here, as he's the last one running a hot lap. And then this thing's going into race time, so I mean, we're just going to jump straight from qualifying. These guys are going to jump right onto the grid, and it's going to be game on. So T1 at Spa is always risky, and then we've got La Radiant, Al Rouge, and the Camel Straight coming right after that, and then I believe that's the Schumacher S as I follow it. So yeah, very difficult race start here at Spa, as we got Vegas Paul coming across. See him get a little wiggle there, and what does he do? He comes up into P6, so great last minute ditch runs by some of these drivers here. Was about Spec 1, ladies and gentlemen, taking that pole position here for round 2 at Spa. We got GVG Jake sitting in P2, Badass starting in P3, Sparky Boomman in P4, we got Bar in P5, Vegas Paul in 6, Ghost Viper's going to be starting P7, Betcher in P8, ATB is going to be starting P9, Nolander P10, and Heathen in P11. So there's going to be about a 2-minute burn down here, ladies and gentlemen, and then this thing's going to be going. So race on. Let's see who's got what it takes to become champion for round 2 at Spa, ladies and gentlemen. Who's going to hold the podium positions? And you see penalty dots all across the board. We should have threw a little incentive in there for the drivers on Spa here, so you could have went penalty free today maybe. But we are going to sit with our pole sitter, Spec 1, and sitting right beside him there is Jake. We're going to take a quick screenshot of that just in case we need it. Check. In a way, the Americans and Canadians pronounce Z sounds like Z to us Brits. Yeah, well, you know, we like to make things different. So we got 5 reds. We're waiting for that green, ladies and gentlemen. Waiting for that green. Waiting, still waiting. Long light here, and it's green. And all the drivers hesitated a little bit there to get going, but now we're moving. You see those 4Cs getting really great launches. Spec 1 got a terrible launch, dropping all the way down to the back of the grid there. So from pole to 11th, ladies and gentlemen, what's he got? Looking like we got through. Fantastic job. And look at these guys, 2, 3 wide. We're coming up to one of the most dangerous high-speed sections in motorsports, period, right now. With Al Rouge and La Radiant coming into the Camel Straight. Are all these drivers going to be able to hold this line here? What a great job. Everybody makes it through alive, nose to tail, first to 11th place, ladies and gentlemen. What a great job by these drivers. This is why DMJ has the best drivers in North America, ladies and gentlemen. They just prove it week in and week out. T1, man. Beautiful stuff right there. We ain't done yet, though. This is very difficult first lap. These guys are on cold tires. They're on different tire compounds. Lots of things. You see Bar getting a little bit wide there, but everybody getting through there. We got Jake in the lead with Badass sitting in second. We got Sparky Boomman in third. We've got Vegas Paul sitting in P4. We got Ghost Viper sitting in P5, and that pack is kind of broken away from the back half of the field. So we got ATB in 6 getting a little bit wide. Bar making the move on him now. We're going to stick with that. A little bit of contact between the two. Nothing too major, though. A little bit of Rubbins racing there, and Bar tucks right back into ATB. Nolander's now going to jump outside and look for the move, but that's going to give him the inside line coming into the next corner. Can he get them both? He is going to get Bar here. Great job by these drivers. No, Bar getting a little bit sideways there, but he managed to hold it. Great job by 2 wide. 3 sets, 2 wide, all the way around this corner. These guys are on it, man. These guys are feeling it. They're racing tonight. Spec 1 moving up the field quickly, already up into P8. See Bar getting a little bit wide there with that RCZ. He's going to get moved on there as well by the driver in behind. We're just going to jump back up to the front pack here and see what we're missing up front. Man, there is action everywhere right now. This is what it was like last week, but we got Jake trying to stretch a bit of a lead out. We got Badass sitting in P2. We got Sparky Boomman in P3, and you see Vegas Paul starting to try and apply a little bit of pressure there. Ghost Viper right behind in P5, chilling back there, just waiting to see what's going to happen in front of him here. Whew. These guys are on it as we're coming up the final run here. We're coming into these chicanes, so we're going to stick with this front pack because you can see these guys jockeying for position here. Boomman's going to take a look on Badass. He just opts to stay where he is. Vegas giving him the room, takes a look, backs out. Ghost Viper moving in on Vegas. Woo! Vegas Paul getting a little bit sideways there, but great job by the 2 drivers. No, he keeps the car underneath himself. He gets them together there. You see Ghost Viper just laying back there and just letting them get back in line there. I don't think Ghost tapped him there. I think he just got on the throttle a little early. You see Nolander picking up time. Spec 1 now up into P7, ATB in 8, Bar in 9th. He's up in P10, and Betcher down into P11 here currently. But, man, these guys are swapping positions like McDonald's is switching customers through the fast food restaurant, man. They are just moving around. We got GVG Jake here sitting in first place. We got to move. Sparky now trying to make the move on Badass. Is he going to get that done? I don't even know where to look right now. We got him going 2 wide as Jake is right now just kind of chilling right now. He's trying to get away from these guys. They're battling. He's like, okay, I got to go. Vegas Paul all the way up into P2. So Vegas Paul making some moves here as he's up into P2. He's looking sharp tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Sparky into P3. Ghost Viper now up into P4. We got Badass dropping back to P5 through that little battle there. And, I mean, I gotta tell you, these battles aren't over. We got Spec 1 looking on Nolander now, and he goes in. These guys are almost 3 wide. A little bit of contact there. Nolander is absolutely making sure Spec is going to stick to that short line. Nolander tucking back in beside Spec 1. So, whew, these Porsches, boy, they are absolutely battling here. And great job by all the drivers so far. Very close race. Everybody is still right there. ATB's just behind this pack here with Bar starting to breathe back down his neck. So Bar and ATB have been pretty racy and battling here very early on in the race between the 2 of themselves as well. We've got Heathens here sitting in P10, and I think Heathen's just playing a strategy here. I think he's just playing it easy here to start off with Spa, and let these guys wear their cars out a little bit. And I think that's what we're going to see Heathen and Larry start to pick up a little bit here. As we got Larry in P11 too. It's not that these guys don't have the pace. I think they're just playing some strategy here. But Vegas Paul is on Jake. Vegas Paul's making the move on Jake. Vegas Paul looking for the lead, and Vegas Paul is in the lead. No, Jake says, nah, buddy. What do you think is going to happen here? Vegas Paul getting it done. Vegas Paul getting the job done on Jake. Jake's going to take a look here. He's going to tuck back into slipstream. Great job by Vegas Paul for the lead, ladies and gentlemen. And Vegas Paul leading a DMJ season 2 round 2 race for the first time in his DMJ season career here. And looking sharp. Go get some, my man. This is what we like to see, ladies and gentlemen. We like to see the drivers come back, and we like to see the drivers hungry. And Vegas Paul is hungry today, ladies and gentlemen. That provides for fantastic racing. We got Sparky Boomman sitting in P4 just behind these guys. Spec all the way back up into P5 already. Badass just in behind. Badass took a little bit of a peek there, but Spec 1 closing the door. Badass and Nolander battling a little bit there. Nolander moving up into P6. Badass just dropping back in behind there. Again, drivers could be on different tire compounds. We don't really know what's sitting underneath these cars here as far as their shoes go currently, ladies and gentlemen. We will show that to you a little bit later on. We got Heathen in P8. Betcher's now moved up into P9. Bar back into P10 and ATB in P11. So I'm not sure what happened there. Let's go see if we can see what happened here. I feel like these 2 were battling. So it looks like it happened well before we're able to actually see what happened. So Guy's still on track and cruising around here, so hopefully everything's all right there. But we do have Vegas Paul sitting in the lead. He's got a penalty here. You can see him trying to shed that penalty while trying to defend that lead. And he's in the hot seat right now. He's the race leader. He's setting the pace. He's the man in charge right now. And it's a different ball game when you're leading a race, ladies and gentlemen. So this is up to him to see what he's got here. But he is absolutely flying right now, sitting in P1. We got Ghost Viper chasing him down in P2. We got Jake in P3. We got Spec all the way up into P4 now. So Spec has went from pole, potentially a false start there maybe, all the way back to P11 and now back up into P4 on lap 3 here. So Spec is, he's moving. We got Sparky Boomman's dropped down into P5. Nolander now putting some pressure on Sparky here in P6. We got him going a little bit side by side. Nolander backing out there. He didn't like that attempt. He's going to try to get the cut back. No, wasn't able to get it done. So he is there. He is on Sparky. It's going to be a drag race but all the way around here. No, looks like Nolander's going to get the job done. Sparky's going to tuck in behind Nolander. So Nolander moving up into P5, ladies and gentlemen. And boy, oh boy, we got some battles tonight. Whew. This is some fun viewing. We can see right just in the background is Apex Badass there. So this is, we're on board with our 6th place driver, Sparky Boomman, currently, as he's chasing down Nolander. We see Spec trying to burn a penalty here as well. Coming into the chicane, great place to burn penalties. You have to slow down. It's a hard braking zone anyways. But you see Nolander gaining a lot of time. Spec's actually going to pull over and burn the rest of that penalty off. He's going to secede that spot to Nolander. So Nolander moving up into P4. So Nolander now chasing down GVG Jake. Whew, these guys are swapping positions like mad. It is like, it's like playing Go Fish here. Go again, go again, go again. So coming up into the Kemmel. Up Au Rouge and L'Oradion, coming up into the Kemmel straight here. And then this leads into this S section here. Right? It's just a fun racetrack. Spa is so historic, ladies and gentlemen. It's been providing years and years and years of fantastic racing. And we're seeing it here tonight, even in the simulated world, as we see Nolander going around Jake here for P3. So Nolander moving up into the podium positions here currently. So some of these drivers are flying here tonight. We're seeing some, we're seeing a lot of position swap, and we're seeing all kinds of guys up in P1. We just see Ghost Viper 26 now moving up into P1. Let's see if we can catch when he made that move. We just missed it, so it was just before the S is coming out of the Kemmel straight there. So Vegas Paul back down into P2, and now he's chasing Ghost Viper down. We got, why is it not showing me? There we go. We got Nolander in P3 here as he comes around. He's trying to chase Vegas Paul down. He's actually gaining on Vegas Paul there. We got GVD Jake now in P4 and Spec at P5. Spec going back, looking and hunting for that P4 position here. As he's putting some pressure on Jake, so we're going to stick with this battle here currently. You see Spec, woo, getting real nice and tight up on that 4C right there with that Porsche. He was so close. He was smelling that exhaust pipe, ladies and gentlemen. And so Spec 1 coming in with quite a bit of momentum. They're just unable to get a move done as Jake just shut the door. They made sure there was no available move there. So Spec is just sitting there playing and waiting for an opportunity to try and get that job done. And up ahead of Jake here is the leader. So Jake he's in a tough spot right now sitting in P4. He doesn't want to lose that front pack, but he also has to be aware that Spec is right there. You see Spec's just opting to take the racing line here currently right now, coming through the chicane, playing it nice and safe and smart. And just choosing that moment to try and make that move. But you can see behind Spec 1 now, the pack is closing. Spec 1, is he going to make a move here? He is going to try and make a move here as he's going to go on the inside. Forcing Jake to hold that outside, but he does get a little wiggle there. So that should give Jake the run right back on Spec 1. So Spec 1 getting the job done for P4. And GVG Jake down to P5. And the guys just behind now trying to chase these guys down, hoping that they keep doing exactly what they're doing here. Keep on battling. Ladies and gentlemen as well, while we have a second, work together, Jakey and Badass. Well, while we have a second, ladies and gentlemen, we are supporting MacMillan Cancer Support here during all our DMJ Room broadcasts. So if you're able and willing, there is a donation button on the Facebook page. You just tap that button, and it takes you to a safe and secure site through Facebook that allows you to donate directly to the foundation. And if you're able and you can, whether it be $1, $5, $10, anything that you can spare, it's greatly appreciated, and it goes to helping families in need over in the United Kingdom there with, of course, cancer care. So Much love and much appreciation for those of you that have donated throughout the series, and for those of you that may donate, we appreciate you and thank you very much, and we love you so much for your big warm hearts, ladies and gentlemen. All right, but back to the racing. Starting to open up a little bit there. You can see Spec starting to get a little bit of time on Jake here. So let's get back out to our TV crew. Let them do their jobs here. As we have Sparky trying to chase those two down here in P6. Moving back to the field, we do have Apex Racing's Badass here. Now keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, there are probably going to be different tire compounds being used here too in these endurance races. It is a 40-minute race, so we're going to start seeing pit windows pretty soon, I would think. So we got Barr back up into P9. We got Betcher in P10, and we got ATB in P11. He's not that far off these guys, so he is definitely back on the hunt here. But Ghost Viper 26 is very comfortably in the lead right now, about just under 3 seconds. And of course, he was our winner there in round 1 over at Alsace Village last week. So looking for a repeat here this week. But I got to tell you, this race is far, far from over, ladies and gentlemen. Far, far from over. And Vegas Paul having a fantastic race here, sitting in P2. Spec 1 now on the hunt in P3 here, but he is absolutely definitely on the hunt to try and chase Paul down. Jake in P4 here as well. And he's in that Apex Racing 4C there. Purple being his color, ladies and gentlemen. Each, of course, one of those drivers do have a personalized color combination for their cars, and that's for a number of reasons, obviously, but it definitely makes life easier for us broadcasters. Once we get figured out whose color is for who, we got Badass in the blue, ladies and gentlemen. We got Heathen in the dark red before I even flip over. And Superman, if it was on track, he'd be in the orange, like you see ATB's car is quite orange. We got Barr here getting a little bit wide there, so he might be picking some penalty up there. And Betcher here in P9 as well. He's not too far behind Barr in that RCZ. Woohoo! He just catching a little bit of that grass there. Not where you want to be on Spa, folks. We got ATB in P10, and we got Nolander here in P11. So I'm not sure if Nolander had an incident or if he's pit. Yeah, Nolander has pit. Alright, so that is alright. So Nolander has made a pit stop here. So Nolander being our first driver to come into pit lane. So with that being said, let's give you guys some more information here for a minute, shall we? So this is where we're at right now. We're almost midway through the race, almost, and this is the kind of the situation we're looking at here. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. A quick little look at what's underneath those race cars and what's sitting in there for petrol for all these drivers. So we definitely have seen different strategies at play on the racetrack here. I guess the big question is somebody bold enough to try and do a no-stop strategy here today? And can you do a no-stop strategy here at Spa with the way the settings are set in a 40-minute race on these settings? So we'll see if the driver attempts it or not. It'd be a very bold strategy if they did, but it could work out. You just never know. So we do have Spec 1 here sitting in P3. He is starting to reel in Vegas Paul up there in P2. Got GVG Jake in P4. We've got Sparky Boomman in P5. We've got Badass up into P6 here now. Barr moving up into P7. We've got Betcher up into P8. ATB's now up into P9. Nolander has moved up into P10, and we've got Heathen just throwing some fuel in that portion. He's back out on track as he's just made his pit stop there, coming out in P11 after that stop. So we are going to see these drivers swap more positions yet, ladies and gentlemen. Lost audio. Should be working. Yeah, no, it should be working. Should be working. Reset your YouTube maybe. All right. So we're not even halfway through the race, and I'm already exhausted trying to keep up with these guys on track because they were battling feisty. They were feisty at the beginning of this race, and things are starting to settle in a little bit here now mid-race. And that's what we always tend to see here in these endurance races. You see them all battling and jockeying for that position early on in the race, and then they all settle into their strategies and their races and their paces. And then the end of the race will just start to kick off again. That's the way it always goes. So, yeah. We're at that point right now where the guys are settling into their strategies at the moment. I see a little bit of space between the drivers, but I mean, the spaces aren't huge. I mean, each driver can see the next driver ahead of them, basically. So it's just a matter of each driver, whether they're trying to save fuel, or maybe they're trying to save a little bit of tire. Maybe they made a mistake that lap. It could be a number of things of why these drivers have been jockeying back and forth so much today. So we're definitely going to be seeing battling coming to the end of this race. And currently right now on track is actually Nolander with fastest lap on track. So we got Spec 1 with the pole position points here for round 2. Let's see who can get those fastest lap points here before the end of round 2 here as well. Pardon me, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so I think what we're going to do, we're going to let these guys make their round of pit stops here. And the DMJ Room is on this car, ladies and gentlemen. It's on the door panels on the bottom. We just can't see it. So again, just another adjustment that's going to be made by one of the drivers there, just so we can see that. I got a couple liveries on track that we just got to make some tweaks. Because we got to make sure that we're shouting out the masterminds behind this absolutely amazing series here, provided to us by DMJ Room, ladies and gentlemen, and you can find them at www.dmjvroomroom.com. It is in the description of the chat as well, ladies and gentlemen, where you can find their website link. So with that being said, there's a couple different ways you can find that link. Now, DMJ is partnered with LWR Designs, GT Omega Racing, Fanatec, and DDR Racing. So, you know, the prizes and everything that goes on here with DMJ is provided by all those partners that are involved. And that's right, ladies and gentlemen, there are prizes for our drivers here. So our top 3 drivers do receive prizes, trophies, medals, whatever the case may be for the season. And then at the end of the season, we actually take our top 7 drivers in the standings from the championship standings and offer them a spot in an all-star race. And what we do is we take the North American 7 from Choose Your Weapon, and we put them up against the Choice of Weapon top 7 in the UK side. And they're currently running this same series right now. They're about 4 rounds ahead of us here in North America, as we started a little bit later than they did. But so that's what happens at the end of the season. So there's the top 7 drivers are fighting for something here at the end of the season. And that Battle of the Pond last season was absolutely epic, ladies and gentlemen. It was absolutely beautiful little event that put on by DMJ's best drivers right across the board from the UK and North America side. And really put a display of skill on the racetrack. And that's what it's all about, is to go show you what they have. And it's the best of the best fighting each other for top dog to see who rules the pond for the year. And the North American division did secure that win for the very first annual running of the Battle of the Pond. So they will be defending champions this season as well, coming into that battle at season's end. So we see Vegas in pit lane there, and he was getting a little low on fuel there, our boy. So he definitely had to hit pit lane. I don't think he could have got around again one more time with the fuel that he had in that car. As we've seen, he was at 6% fuel. We got Ian Travers coming in with that massive heart on stream as well. Shichibaz coming in with the heart on the stream as well. Much love, everybody. We do appreciate everybody stopping in. For those of you tuning in on YouTube, we love you guys over there too. Unfortunately, my alerts don't work from YouTube for some reason. We got to sort that out still. But GG Jake now currently sitting up into P2, as we've seen some of our drivers make pit stops, and we've seen some of our drivers really out on a long run here. So we've got Sparky in P3, we've got Badass now up into P4. Bar 27 here is on in P5, not on, sorry, in P5. We have Betcher here sitting in P6, and I mean, that is one green looking race car. It is just a... That Peugeot RZ in that green kind of reminds me of a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I don't know what it is. We got it. I love delivery. Don't take offense to that, dude. ATB here, P7. We got Spec 1 in P8. You can see the Beavis and Butthead homage on the back of that car. And I'm a personal fan of Beavis and Butthead, so I love that little touch on the race car there by Spec. We got Vegas Polo here. I'm now in P9 after his pit stop. We've got Heathen in P10 and Nolander down into P11 here. So going to be interesting to see how this race shapes out. We got just a little under 20 minutes remaining. Actually 19 minutes remaining there if you look in the bottom right hand side-ish of the screen. You can see how much time is remaining in the race, ladies and gentlemen. So we have completed 21 minutes of the race, and there's 18 minutes and 50 seconds left in this race. So these drivers will have about 7 laps left, give or take, depending when they cross that finish line. But Ghost Viper Gaming looking very in command here currently, ladies and gentlemen. And I believe he's live over on Facebook Gaming right now if you want to check the race out from his point of view as well. We got GVG Jake here in P2. We got Sparky Boom Man in P3. Badass in P4. Betcher in P5. Spec 1 now in P6. And now we see the rest of the drivers starting to make their pit stop. So we see Barr coming in. You can see that livery there by Barr. You can faintly see DMJ on the front of that hood. We'll brighten that up for him. And ATB in the pits here. We get a look at that beautiful livery. We saw that livery last week, but I mean, it's just so beautiful. We got to take a peek at it again. A lot of work goes into these liveries, so we got to make sure that we show them off for the guys. They put a lot of time and a lot of effort into making these designs on these race cars as we give them the freedom to design their own designs on their race cars. Of course, with some requirements. There are requirements that there are certain things that do need to be on the cars, and all the liveries on track do meet those requirements. So, but yeah, for the most part, we try to leave as much free reign as we can for the drivers to do their thing. And then, I mean, of course, there's, you know, some guys are part of teams, and teams have sponsors, so you have to make sure that there's plenty of space to show love and respect for their communities and their teams as well. So yeah, the cars are looking sharp out on track here this week for sure, as Ghost Viper Gaming with a fairly sizable lead here. Now he's at about 11.5 seconds, but he also knows that he's still got to run that hard tire stint. So he really needs to stretch that gap as big as he can. And I think what he's doing is he's waiting for potentially Jake to take a pit stop here and try to overcut him. But that's just speculating. I'm just speculating based off what I'm seeing currently on track. Sparky has yet to pit as well. So, and there we go. Ghost Viper coming in as he couldn't go another time around there anyways, judging by the amount of fuel we see in his race car there. So we do have Ghost Viper coming into pit lane here. And that's most certainly going to lose him first place position here currently. Stop it. And all 3 of our leaders have come in, except for Sparky Boom Man. A little bit of a shock there, so he must be using a little more fuel mapping in that car compared to the rest of the drivers, as he's still going around. And I mean, he's going to be pushing a 25-minute stint there now on that Porsche, so that's pretty good. The Porsche does like to drink the fuel a little bit, so. And Spa is such a long pit entry, ladies and gentlemen. It is painful. I think we just seen Badass come in, so we'll get a quick peek at his car here. Oh, we missed Ghost. He's coming in right now. We got Jake just coming out. We just kind of caught a little peeksies there. There we go. Alright, we can get a couple in here. We got the Ninja Turtle here. We'll have to ask him what his favorite Ninja Turtle is one of these days. Just reminds me of Ninja Turtle Green, man. That's what that reminds me of. Memories. I love Ninja Turtles. Such good memories. So Sparky Boom Man in the lead here, but he still owes a pit stop, ladies and gentlemen. He owes a pit stop. Does he owe a pit stop? He might not owe a pit stop. I could be wrong on that. he doesn't owe a pit stop if he doesn't need to. So if he can stretch this thing to a no stop, he may be able to hold the lead that he's got currently on track. But I don't think that this car is going to go all the way around Spa for 40 minutes on the settings that we're making these drivers race on without having to stop for fuel. I really, not in the Porsche. I just don't see it. Spec 1 up into P2 here now. We got Ghost in P3, and here we go again. Oh, I'm having flashbacks around 1, ladies and gentlemen. We got GVG Jake in P4. Apex Racing's Badass in P5, with Vegas Paul hot on his heels in P6, just behind in that RCZ. Bar 27 in P7. We got, get a little bit squirrely there. We got Betcher in P8. We got ATB in P9. We've got Nolander in P10 and Heathen in P11. So even just the drivers that are here today are picking up pretty good championship points here, just because we don't have our whole field racing here today. So some of these drivers that are in the back of the field are still picking up pretty good points. So yeah, definitely always something to be racing for. You see Sparky coming into pit lane here now as well. And that does give Spec 1 the race lead currently here with 13 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. But look who is on the charge, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Ghost Viper 26 himself is on the hunt. And we saw this last week. Better go refresh those beverages, ladies and gentlemen, while you have the chance, because a battle's a-brewing. A battle is a-brewing. GVG Jake, the other equation of that battle, let's not count this guy out yet either, ladies and gentlemen. Badass in P5, and he's not that far behind Sparky. So Sparky had a pretty good gap on the field there to come back out of that pit stop in P4, but Badass is on the hunt. We got Bar 27 here in P7, and he's on the hunt here as well. Skip Betcher, Mr. Betcher in P8 here as he's coming through the S's here currently right now. Fun little section when you get it right, too. We got ATB here in P9. He had a good, strong finish for his first race last season. He's looking real solid here again today. Nolander sitting in P10, and then we have Heathen in P11 here. And he's flying right now. He has got the pedal to the metal at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, they're trying to get everything out of that car. So Spec 1 in the lead with Ghost Viper 26 behind chasing, and GVG Jake behind them chasing. Now, what I can for sure guarantee, ladies and gentlemen, is out of these 3 drivers, one of them has a tire advantage. I'm not going to tell you which driver that is, but one of these drivers in this potentially the top 4 here, I guess, with Sparky in the equation, has a tire advantage. So we have 2 drivers on one tire, and we have 2 drivers on another tire. So it's going to be interesting to see how that develops as the race finishes here. Badass in P5. We got Paul here in P6, and Bar 27 starting to chase him down. Got Betcher in P8. ATB in P9. We got Nolander in P10, and he's not too far behind these guys. And then we've got Heathen in P11, and we're not sure what happened to Heathen. He must have had an incident on track or something there, as he's a little bit further behind than I would have anticipated. But we're going to jump on board with our race leaders. We haven't done our on board with our race leader here yet. So we're gonna hang with Spec 1 here as we come around Spa, and I'm gonna shut my voice off for just a minute, and we'll get to this race finish, ladies and gentlemen, right after this onboard lap. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen, an onboard shot with our current race leader, RR Spec 1. So, let's get through this. Let's get this. We got 8 minutes, 40 seconds remaining in this race, and you can see the top 4 drivers are pretty close. Badass is lurking just behind. Now, if you guys were watching last week and you remember the absolute amazing battle that happened at the end of the race last week, well, it's shaping up to be the exact same thing here again this week, ladies and gentlemen. As we have Spec 1 currently in the lead, looking like he's got this thing. He's just got to bring it home. We got Ghost Viper 26 chasing. GVG Jake hunting as well. And then Sparky Boom Man just off in the distance sitting here in P4. Apex Badass right there behind as well, waiting for opportunity to strike. Bar 27 just a little bit off the pace of these guys, but doing well in P6. Got Vegas Pauly here in P7. We got Betcher now chasing him down in the other Peugeot in P8. So we're starting to see those battles starting to develop near the end of this race. The guys are looking at those clocks. They're looking up at the live timing. They're going, okay, I got to go. So they're going. So it's race on. At this point, it's race on, ladies and gentlemen. 7.5 minutes remaining. And there is going to be some battling happening. It's coming. I can feel it. You can see that gap is starting to close from Ghost to Spec. You can see the gap closing from Jake to Ghost. You can see the gap closing from Sparky to Jake. We potentially have a 4-way battle developing for first, second, and third place here at the end of round 2 at Spa. Here at DMJ Room's Choose Your Weapon North American Division, ladies and gentlemen. Man, you cannot ask for anything better. This is how we love to see it. You see that battle, you see it is brewing. Betcher is there, he's on him, he is hunting, he's waiting, he's looking. You see Paul getting a little bit wide there. So Betcher is going to take that spot on Paul. So Betcher's going to move up into P7 there. Paul is going to drop back into P8, going to drop back into that slip. Try to get a move done before the end of this race. ATB in P9. Nolander down in P10, and Heathen Round in our field here today. You see those special number placard there in the shot, ladies and gentlemen. But here we go. Here we go again, ladies and gentlemen. It is, it's on. It's race on. We are going to stick with the front of our pack here for the next little bit here and see what develops because, oh boy, it's going to get juicy. We got Badass currently running with fastest lap on track with a 2:17.130 as well. So Badass hoping to lock down those fastest lap points here today as well. Get him some gain in that standings there in the championship points. But, oh, we see Jake or Sparky in the background there with a track limit penalty. It looks like Sparky's picked up a penalty. No, it's Jake. As Sparky has actually taken third place from GVG Jake there. So Sparky now up into P3. Jake having to get rid of that penalty. We got 5.5 minutes remaining. We've got about two more laps after this lap, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, we are right there. We're at the end. Let's get on board with Ghost Viper as Sparky's now on the hunt. So this is what Ghost is seeing behind him. Much like last week, this is what Ghost is seeing. Oh, we got Sparky making a move. He took a look. He got the run, but Ghost saying, buddy, you gotta try harder than that, my guy. You gotta try harder than that. So Sparky not able to get the move done. Ghost holding that line, but Sparky's looking. He's looking. Ghost is defending. Is Sparky gonna get the job done here? Ghost is defending Sparky for the life right now. He is taking every defensive line imaginable on Spa right now to keep that Porsche behind as Sparky is putting the pressure. You see Jake just lurking. Jake is just lurking in behind here. Is Sparky gonna get it done? Ghost has left him the opportunity to get down the inside here. He's going to squeeze him tight. Oh, it's a drag race. Ghost now has the inside line. These guys are going to go side by side. Let's get up to the TV cam. Ooh, great respect by those drivers. And now Sparky's hunting down Spec. Can Spec hold Sparky down for 4.5 minutes? Ghost is going to try and respond. Looking on the inside, doesn't get it done. Going to try and cut it back as he comes around the final chicane here. These guys are going to be on that white flag lap, ladies and gentlemen. This will be the penultimate lap here from these drivers. And look at this battle for the lead. P2, P3, P4, 3 wide going into D1. Oh, Jake's going to make the move as well. He's going to get the cutback on Ghost Viper. Jake now in P3. Here we go. Here we go. Time for me to lose my voice. Sparky making the move. He's making the run. He's going to try and get the run up the Kemmel Straight here. Is he? These guys are they're not backing down. Spec is not going to back down here. He absolutely pushes through here. Spec and Sparky. Spec going a little bit wide there as he comes out of the exit to Laurentian coming up the Kemmel Straight. So that's going to get a position to Sparky. Spec dropping all the way down to P4, getting a little bit wide coming out there. Ghost Viper now in P2. Jake now up into P1, and here we go. It is kicking off, ladies and gentlemen. We have a lap and a half remaining, and this is not over. This is not over. Ghost Viper in P2. We got Sparky in P3. Spec up into P4, and Badass is right there now in P5. We got a five-way battle for podium positions here tonight. We got Bar in P6. We're going to go check on the rest of our field. Betcher's still holding down that P7. Vegas in 8. We got ATB in P9. We got Nolander in 10th. We got Heathen in 11th. But no, Jay, the battle's right here. This is the action, ladies and gentlemen. So we are with our leader. You see Sparky now going out on Ghost Viper Gaming. Is he going to get the run? No, he does not. He tucks back in. Ghost Viper going to get that inside line. He's just going to, Sparky's going to wait for a better opportunity. You can see Jake is trying to drive away from these drivers currently here, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go again. Always giving us awesome battles. I know these guys are fantastic. Anthony coming in with that big like. Much love, brother. So GVG Jake now in the race lead. Ghost Viper in P2. You see Sparky looking, trying to find a way around Ghost Viper 26. We got Spec 1 in P4 and Badass in P5. These guys are just battling. These guys are battling. Our top 5 finishers last week are battling for those top 5 positions again here this week. Sparky looking on Ghost Viper in P3, trying to get the move done. We're almost at 2 minutes remaining, ladies and gentlemen. We're coming around the final corners of this penultimate lap. Ghost Viper gets the defense done, and Sparky's going to look for the cutback. Ghost Viper gets wide there. Is he going to pick up a penalty there? Ooh, that would be heartbreaking for Ghost Viper. If he gets the penalty there, he's going to try and get in on Jake. Jake makes it. Oh, and he taps Jake. He's going to get that spot back. Sparky's. Oh, these guys are getting a little argy-bargy here. Everybody's getting crazy. What's going to happen here? What's going to happen here? You see everybody sorting themselves out here. You see Ghost Viper giving that spot back. You see Jake now losing to Badass. So Badass taking opportunity while opportunity is there. Side by side is Badass and Jake. A little bit of contact. Sparky going to take opportunity. Spec and Ghost Viper battling between there for 4th and 5th. Woo! You guys are amazing. Keep it going. We got Sparky in P1. We got Jake in P2. We got Badass, in P2. Jake in P3. Those 4Cs battling here. These Apex boys absolutely at each other trying to get that position. Sparky trying to run away with this final lap. We got Ghost Viper in P4. Spec just falling a little behind in P5. That was a little crazy there coming into that final corner, that first corner of that final lap there. We see Bar getting really wide coming out of Laurentian there, coming up Kemmel Straight. We got Betcher coming through right now. Vegas Paul here in 8. We got ATB in 9. Nolander still in 10. Heathen in 11. And here we go. We're getting back to our leaders for the remainder of this race. And you can, this is just a beautiful sight. This is what you want to see in the final lap of a race, is 1 through 4, like 1.5 seconds apart from each other. Sparky is trying to get away with this race win here. And he is doing, just driving. He is pushing that Porsche right now. As you can see, Badass in P2 behind, trying to catch up. You got Jake right there in P3. He's trying to catch up to Badass. Now, can those guys hook up, push that first place driver? And Ghost Viper just sitting behind in P4 there. All 4 of these drivers trying to figure out their way around that driver in front. You see Spec here. He's just settled into that P5 position there. Yeah, Bar sitting in P6. We've got Betcher in P7. We've got Paul in 8th, ATB in 9th, Nolander in 10th, and Heathen coming across right there in 11th. So he's on his penultimate, his final lap here, but Sparky Boomman is the man everybody's chasing here on track. We're coming around the last few corners here at Spa, and he has opened the gap up. So Ghost Viper has gotten around GVG Jake. Ghost Viper now sitting in P3. Sparky in the lead. Coming around the last final 3 corners here, ladies and gentlemen, is Sparky Boomman. This really high-speed left-hander, and then we're coming into that chicane. Sparky coming around the second last corner. Final corner for Sparky Boomman. And we got a battle in behind there as we got jockey, position jockeying. And Sparky Boomman is going to come across round 2 as our race winner with Badass coming around in P2. Drag race to the line. It is Ghost Viper in P3. GVG Jake just behind Ghost Viper in P4. We got Bar here in P5. We've got Betcher in P6. We're not sure what happened to Spec. Betcher in 6. We got Vegas Paul in 7. And something has happened to Spec. Potentially he's ran out of fuel, ladies and gentlemen, as we have Vegas Paul here finishing in P7. We've got ATB coming across the line here in 7th place now. Spec dropping down to 8th, and that's exactly what happened. You can see Spec has ran out of fuel, and Nolander's doing the man a solid here right now, ladies and gentlemen. Nolander is pushing Spec 1 to the finish line. Nolander, take a bow, sir. You guys want to talk about respect? You guys want to talk about racing etiquette? Wow. Ladies and gentlemen. And Spec making sure, of course, to give that position to Nolander. Absolute class act on the track, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic stuff by Nolander right there to help Spec get across the finish line there. Heathen in and coming across the line here in 10th place. And we lost a driver right at the end here? Who did we lose? Who did we lose? Interesting. So GG's to Sparky Booman, ladies and gentlemen, as our race winner here this week. Hopefully we got that in time. So let's go check our race results here real quick, ladies and gentlemen. So our race results here for today. Of course, these are unofficial results until the drivers will now have 24 hours to file any incident reports. So drivers, save your replays, please. And then, of course, officiating staff will take it from there to assess any penalties if needed. And then official results will be posted later this week. But unofficially, we do have Sparky Boomman winning our race here at round 2, with Apex Racing's Badass coming in 2nd place, Ghost Viper Gaming coming in 3rd place, Bar 27 picking up P4. We got Betcher in P5. We've got Vegas Paul finishing in P6. We've got ATB finishing in P7. We've got Nolander in P8. Spec 1 in P9, Heathen in P10. So who'd we lose? We lost Jake, but Jake finished in P4, ladies and gentlemen. So, okay, so I see what happened. Jake just had to bounce really quickly. He has to work in a few hours, and he bounced before the race was technically finished. So, yeah, Jake is verified finishing in P4. So we will make sure that that information gets sent across properly. I was confused there. So that's what happened. Jake had to run right away. He has to work in a few hours, ladies and gentlemen. It's super late. It's like 2 or 3 in the morning for Jake. So big shout out to Jake for being here and running his race and doing his thing. So what we're going to do real quick, ladies and gentlemen, is we're just going to change the settings for the guys for next week's race so they can steal the settings for practice purposes. And then we're going to go do some podium interviews. Everybody's favorite, podium interviews, ladies and gentlemen. So those are coming in just momentarily. Just give me uno second to change the settings for these guys. So we are heading to Sardinia B next week, and yeah, that is most certainly going to be a very interesting race, as a very small racetrack, so it should provide for pretty close racing as far as the 40-minute endurance goes. So we're just going to set that up for these guys. Sardinia B, 17 o'clock, fine weather. All right. Sardinia B, 17 o'clock, fine weather. We're going to save those settings right there, because, well, we could do that here on GT Sport. And there we go. Ooh, we forgot to save the replay. Oh, no. It's alright, one of the drivers will have it. Not even in the least bit concerned. Alright, so podium interviews, ladies and gentlemen. So let's flip you over to our juicy screen. Make sure that's the right one.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, great job again, gentlemen.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we do have our drivers in the room, and we're just gonna check to make sure all the podium guys are here. I believe they are.
Jake
Uh,
left. Jake got blue screened on results.
yeah, yeah, all good, all good. I was aware of what happened there. It looks like we're missing Ghost Viper Gaming here as well. So our P3 finisher was Ghost Viper 26, ladies and gentlemen, beating Jake out by a mere 5/100ths of a second.
Oh,
But again, not in the chat here currently for the podium interviews here. So congratulations to Ghost Viper 26. He won this round one, and it was a strong finish here, P3 at Spa for round two. So we're just going to jump up the field here, and we're going to jump up to Apex Racing's Badass with a very strong P2 finish here today. And it was kind of funny, Badass, because I said at the beginning of the broadcast I was a little bit concerned about how the 4C would be at Spa, of course, with Spa kind of requiring a little bit of top end speed in the car, and of course we all know the 4C lacks a little bit of top end speed, but you definitely showed that the 4C had some game at Spa here today. So congratulations, it was a really great race. You had a pretty patient race, and it paid off for you with a nice strong P2 finish. So talk us through it.
uh, well, I was going with the strat, 10 hard, 7 soft, and got to the end there. Seen some time coming down on the guys there, but I didn't think I was going to catch them, and I seen them all battling. I was like, yes, yes, keep battling, and I managed to. When I was going into the chicane there, I seen 3 of them like pretty much parked it. They were like, we don't know what to do. So I was like, oh, you guys want to let Chad? You want to let Badass come through and take the lead here? So I was gladly happy to do that.
Absolutely, that was a pretty crazy turn one final lap there, and I mean, you guys did not disappoint last week. You guys had just an absolutely crazy battle between P1 and P3, and this week you guys stepped the game up and decided you're gonna have a crazy 5-way battle for the race lead at the end of the race. So the viewers are buzzing in the chats, but to start with, that was absolutely fantastic, and just great job by all you guys. There was a little bit of a little bit of rubbers racing there, getting through there, but I mean, opportune moment for Badass, and Badass absolutely took opportunity and got himself in a great position there to finish the race. So, great job, Badass, and the car's looking fantastic, by the way, my man. And
Thank you.
of course, shoutouts.
Of course, Tattooed Freak for making that car look so beautiful. You for hosting this, doing the comms, just being awesome. All the racers, Apex Racing, Apex Racing Team, and my OFR League.
Awesome, great stuff. And again, congratulations. So a strong round two for you. So that's definitely going to push you up those standings a little bit. Plus, I'm not sure if you held that fastest lap there. I believe you did. So if that's the case, there should be some bonus points there for you as well.
Very nice, very nice.
And our race winner, ladies and gentlemen, Sparky Boomman. So it started round one just missing that podium. He was just on looking that great juicy battle we seen last week for the top 3 spots, and decided that he wanted a piece of the action this week. So he got himself in the right place at the right time in the race, and great battle at the end of the race between you from you right through to P5 there, and coming out with the race win there at the end. So you got stuck behind Spec and Ghost Viper there a little bit. Now, were you aware that those two guys were on a different compound tire that you were?
Yeah, it was, but like that Ghost Viper guy, man, he's just, I don't understand how he's getting traction out of the corners on Ward hards like that. I kept just trying to set him up so that I could pass him on the straight, and it just didn't matter. Somehow he'd still get good traction coming out of the corners. It was very aggravating. But I had a fortunate situation for me where I think maybe someone missed their braking point, and then there was a bit of an incident, and like you said, it was a bit argy-bargy, and Badass capitalized, and I capitalized, and then the following corner, everyone still had dirty tires, and I just thought, okay, I'm going to brake early here. Nobody wanted the lead on that straight, because if people are behind you in the slipstream, then you're kind of screwed. But I overfueled on purpose so that I could just push like crazy on the final lap, and that's what I did.
Absolutely, and it was a great run there as well. And again, different strategies at play today. We've seen quite a few strategies on the racetrack today, and you opted to start on that hard tire today, much like a few of the drivers that actually were running up front. And of course, going to that the better tire at the end, and great strategy and a little bit of fortune, and being in the right place at the right time, ready to make that move, bringing home the top of the podium this week. So congratulations, man! I'm sure that you're quite thrilled about that, and that's definitely going to help you boost up in the standings as well here this week. So the standings are shaking up already very early on in the season here, and we're going to have a very tight five-way battle very early on in the season for those 3 podium spots this season. So. Congratulations, man, and shout outs.
Yeah, all the sponsors. I'm just looking at my livery here. GT Omega, Fanatec, DMJ Room, of course. You for broadcasting, and I always like to give Fat Ass a shout out because last night we were in practicing, just figuring out how many laps we could do on the hards, and I actually opted for an extra lap on the hards because the Porsche, I guess, is just a little better on fuel, and I was hoping he wouldn't undercut me, and thankfully I think he overfueled as well to try and push, so the undercut didn't work, and I got in a fortunate situation, so it was good.
Absolutely, and congratulations, my man. We love to see different faces standing on the podium from week to week. It obviously, like I said, it provides great points battles in the standings, and we head to Sardinia B next week. It's going to be a little bit of a different race for all the drivers next week. As Sardinia B, again, it's a very short, quick course. It has some pretty narrow spots and some pretty tight corners, so it'll be interesting to see how these drivers handle Sardinia B next week with just the absolute tight, hard racing we've seen very early on in the season. So again, congratulations to all our podium finishers and also to all the drivers that are participating today. Thank you very much for being here, and we can't wait to see what you guys bring for us next week.
Thanks.
And you guys are free to speak. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there we have it. Race recap, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go over here. Let's turn on this beauty. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So race recap. What can I say? Sweating a little bit. We got some beads coming down from the brow a little bit here. But great race start again by the drivers. I mean, T1 in any race start, whether you have 10 guys on the grid, 2 guys on the grid, or 20 guys on the grid, is always tough because you have different guys on different tire compounds. You have different strategies at play, and just because a guy qualified up in the front of the pack doesn't necessarily mean that he's on the fastest tire as well, right? So the drivers have to try and maintain pace. They got to deal with cold, dirty. They got to deal with cold, tires. They got to build that air pressure up in those tires. They got cold brakes, and they come into that first corner, and you just can't full send it. The drivers have to take it easy, and these guys did it. They did it to perfection. Week in and week out, this field of drivers is just something special. You just don't see this in league racing. You always see a massacre in T1s throughout the season. Last season we didn't see any T1 massacres, and so far this season it's just like last season hasn't even ended, ladies and gentlemen, with the absolute caliber and quality of driving we have here on the track at DMJ. These are some of North America's best drivers we have here on track. We're very fortunate that these guys are here racing over in this series, and it's just absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I'm just shutting down the stream. But I mean, great battling for the first 20 minutes of the race provided battles right from first place through to 11th place. We've seen guys constantly swapping positions. We've seen the tire strategies coming into play. We've seen those fuel strategies start to come in play. So the guys are really starting to settle into the series very early already, and it was some good racing. We didn't have a single car get lapped today. And all 11 drivers finishing. Again, we had a little bit of contact there near the end of the race, but I mean, at the end of the day, that's gonna happen when guys are racing hard like that. I mean, we had a 3-wide push through that chicane. I mean, it was fantastic. So, I mean, again, the drivers do have 24 hours to report any incidents if they choose to do so. Typically, these guys hash this stuff out on their own time, and they don't really do that. But if they do that, it is their choice. The drivers do have the choice. It is their right as a competitor for a championship series to file that report that they feel like it cost them. But we've seen a ton of respect on the racetrack by these drivers. If there was contact, you immediately seen those drivers lay off. But I mean, I think the notable mention today, ladies and gentlemen, we seen amazing racing action. We've seen great passes. We've seen great moves. We've seen respect on the racetrack. We've seen great strategies in play. But the notable mention of the day is Nolander 1978, ladies and gentlemen, who instead of just driving past Spec 1 and watching him suffer on the end of the racetrack while he runs out of fuel, tucks in behind RR Spec 1's Porsche 911 RSR and starts giving Nolander a and pushes Spec right to the finish line. And then, of course, Spec pulling out of the way to give Nolander that position, which obviously Nolander would have gotten. Nolander didn't have to push Spec 1 across the line there, but he did. So, massive mention to Nolander 1978, ladies and gentlemen. He deserves an absolute huge round of applause. Take a bow, sir. That is 100% class act. And when we talk about DMJ and we talk about this racing community, that's what these guys are. Some of the most professional and most etiquette drivers that we have around. And I mean, we see it week in and week out, and we've seen it again today. And the camaraderie and the brotherhood and the bond that these drivers have already built is fantastic to see. I'm thrilled. I can't wait to see the next 8 rounds. So, round 3 next week, same time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, boys and girls. We're gonna be here, Sardinia B. 40-minute race. It's gonna be spicy. It's gonna be spicy. It's gonna be a tight track. It's a short track. It's a fast track. We're gonna see probably about 40 to 50 laps on this track next week, and hope you guys are ready. I don't know if I am, but we're going to be here, and we're going to bring it. And these drivers are going to bring it like they do week in and week out, and they provide some of the best entertainment around North America right now, ladies and gentlemen, here over on GT Sport. So I'm your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming, you guys. You all know who we are. Massive shout out to DMJ Room, of course, the provider of the series. The partners, LWR Design, DDR, D-Dot Racing, GT Omega Racing, Fanatec, and of course myself being host of the series here in North America. And massive shout out to MacMillan Cancer Support. It's who we support here week in and week out at DMJ Room and GT45 Gaming during all our DMJ events. And much love to everybody who has donated in the past and donating in the future. We love you for it. Much love, your angels. And we're going to do a little comment catching up here. Yeah, we know Jake blue screened after the race. It's all good. It's all good. He will get his 4th place finish. Thank you for the races, bro. Bit talked out. Oh, that was a great battle. Hey, all good, Nick. All good, brother. You're good, my guy. Great race again, man. You rock, Tim. Good race, all. Much love, Paul. Great battle, last 2 laps. 4 wide, turn 1 was sweet. GG. Oh, I know, man. These guys are phenomenal. Thanks, Tim. I believe anyone in the group would have done the same. I think so too, my guy. But nonetheless, Nolander, you just don't see that type of thing, man. It's a rare thing. It's a rare thing, my guy. Much love, my man. But that's it for the broadcast for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back live tomorrow for round 3 of our ACC multi-class race over there at SFR. We're heading to Kyalami. So that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow. I am going to jump off though, ladies and gentlemen. I have so much stuff going on right now. We got to get behind the scenes and just keep the program moving. So I love and respect each and every single one of you that tune in. You guys smash these broadcasts week in and week out. This is the hot event of GT45 Gaming week in and week out. Is this DMJ Room series? You guys are the reason it's the hot ticket item every week here at the page. Thank you so much. Appreciate your support, and we'll see you all next week. Stay winning. Peace and love, everybody.